Hi, my name's Tracy Ann Doss. Welcome to my channel. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Today we'll be talking about the documentary Unknown Caller, the High School Catfish. And please like and subscribe and comment in the section down below so I can build my community. So let's get started. This is a story that takes place in Bayonne, Michigan. And it's very small town America. It has one stoplight. It has one school from preschool to high school. About 700 kids go to the school. And it's just a sweet home feel to this community. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody hangs out together, goes to church, goes to school functions. And the story is centered around a young couple. They started dating at 12 years old. And they're a very happy, sweet couple. They talk on the phone together, go to movies, and are very involved in community sports. Their parents even get along together, and they support the relationship. So Lauren and Owen have been together for about 2 years. And one Halloween in 2020, they started getting text messages from an unknown caller. And these messages were not nice. They were actually quite cruel. They were very mean to Lauren, told her she was anorexic, and told her she was ugly, and said that Owen and the unknown caller were going to be hanging out at this Halloween party, and Owen didn't like her anymore. He's breaking up with her, and he hadn't liked you for a while, and just really mean, horrible things. And the Halloween party was put on by Chloe's parents. And Chloe and Lauren really didn't have a very good relationship because Lauren was going out with Owen, and Chloe and Owen had been friends for a long time, and she had a crush on him. And Chloe was also kind of a mean girl. She had a little clique, and they all hung out together, and anybody that wasn't in the little clique was not cool and not part of the club. So Lauren didn't really want to go to this party, and Owen didn't really want to go to the party if Lauren wasn't going. So at this time, Owen did confront Chloe and say, did you have anything to do with these texts? And Chloe was like, absolutely not. I had nothing to do with this. I don't know what you're talking about. And Lauren's invited, everybody in town's invited. I don't know what you're talking about. So everything was kind of dropped, and Lauren and Owen went on with their beautiful, sweet relationship, and everything was fine. The unknown caller stopped calling, and we fast forward 11 months until the unknown caller started calling again. And the calls were very frequent. They went from, in the beginning, being just a couple a day to being 40 to 50 calls and texts a day. And these texts became very aggressive and vulgar and horrible. I mean, the things that this person was saying to Owen were of very, very sexual content, especially for a 14-year-old. And the texts for Lauren were just really mean and becoming more and more aggressive in that nature. Just talking about her appearance and just how ugly she was, and how she had a flat butt, and how she wasn't giving Owen what he wanted, and that she was going to lose him. And they started to say, off yourself, be done with yourself, you're no good anymore, what are you without Owen? Because by then, Owen and Lauren had broken up. I mean, this was just getting too much for everybody, and parents got involved. They took his phone and were reading through these texts, and they're like, this has to end. We need to go to the principal, and he needs to step in, because this is completely out of control. And so they did. They went to both couples, from Lauren's parents and Owen's parents, all went together to the school and sat down with the principal and told him what was going on, showed him the messages, and he was alarmed too. It was serious and very concerning that this person is in this small town, and they knew it was somebody that knew the kids because they knew a lot about them. They knew what they were wearing. They would reference Lauren as Lo, which is her nickname that only people really close to her use. And the principal decides that he's going to kind of set up a sting, so to speak, a surveillance. And he said, Lauren, I need you to, anytime you get one of these texts, I need you to text me and tell me, and so I can look at everybody on camera at the school and see who's on their phone, and I can catch them. Well, I mean, it's a good theory, right? But it's kind of ridiculous, especially at this school. These kids were on their phones 13 hours a day. They were doing TikToks, and they were exchanging with each other, and they're on video games, and they're just on their phone all the time. So, you know, you look out to see, okay, who's on their phone, right? Everybody's on their phone at all times. So even though he had the right idea, it wasn't gonna work. So at this point, when things have gotten so escalated, and now the parents are fighting and other kids are fighting, and kids are being accused, he reaches out to the local sheriff and says, look, I need some help here. So Mike Mann, the local sheriff, he comes to the school and he hears the story, and he's going to start interviewing the kids and seeing what kids know, and if, you know, what the rumor mill is, and because there's always spark truth to some of the rumor mill, and just get a kind of vibe of the situation. And looking through the kids' phones, he familiarizes himself with what's going on, and he starts to do focus in on a couple people. One of the first people he focuses in on is Chloe, because Chloe is not really good friends with Lauren. She's been friends with Owen since they were little kids, and there was a text that went out in the group chat that mentioned a basketball game, and that Lauren and Chloe were both in, and how the unknown caller says to Lauren, you are terrible at basketball, you didn't even score any points, and I even scored 12 points and you didn't score anything. And so this was kind of an eye-opening moment. This person's scored 12 points in the game. Let's look and see who scored 12 points. And it happened to be Chloe. And so the sheriff, Mike Mann, brings Chloe in and interrogates her basically, and says, we know, it's you. And she's adamantly saying, it is not me, I'm not doing it, here's my phone. And so they went through her phone, and there was nothing in her phone that insinuated that she had anything to do with this. But Chloe decides to say, I think it's Adriana, because there was another picture in the chat, and it was a picture of a Christmas party, and the only person that could have taken the picture that was a student was Adriana, because she is at the family Christmas party of Owen's, and she's the only student that could have taken that picture. So the sheriff brings in Adriana and questions her, and Adriana starts getting calls from the unknown caller, and she's a very shy, sweet girl, and this completely freaks her out. I mean, she's already scared of Chloe and her minions because she's been, bullied by them in the past, and she is just becoming more and more withdrawn. And when they go through her phone and they interview her, they say clearly this is not Adriana. This is another look here, not there type of situation. So after all of this and interviewing all the kids and hearing the stories, Mike Mann decides, I need help here. You know, this is above my pay grade. So he contacts the FBI and he gets a hold of Bradley Peter, who is a forensic specialist. And he says, look, man, I need your help. This is serious. This has been going on for 19 months and we're getting no answers and we're getting nowhere. And these texts are getting more and more serious. They're getting more and more violent and more aggressive. And the community is starting to point fingers at each other, and it's creating a lot of discord in the community, and I need your help. So Bradley started going through Owen's logs. I think there was like over 720 pages of texts from the last 19 months, and he goes through all of them, and he comes across 2 IP addresses from getting a search warrant through Pinger, which is the app that was used to create these different phone numbers so that it couldn't be traced back to anybody in the community's phone. And after getting the search warrant through Pinger, that's when they discovered the 2 IP addresses, and then he got a search warrant through Verizon. And that was shocking. That was shocking to him. That was shocking to everybody he reached out to when he found this information. But, I mean, proof is in the pudding. And so Mike Mann went out to her house and confronted Kendra and told her, we need to talk, and I'd really prefer if Lauren wasn't a part of this, and we need to discuss why you've carried on this crazy unknown caller stalking for 19 months. And they sat down with her and told her they wanted her laptop and her phone, and they wanted her to contact her husband because they needed to all sit down together and discuss this and put it all out on the table. And of course, in the beginning, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, she knew she was busted, and she knew that there was nothing she could do about it at this point. She had to come clean. And so they called Lauren and Sean in, and Sean was seeing red. He couldn't believe that she had done this to his daughter and to the town and to their reputation. And it came out in this conversation that Kendra was no longer working, and so she'd been lying about that. And she'd been lying about everything. He even said she's got another phone. She doesn't just have her laptop and her regular phone. There's another phone. And she had lied to Mike Mann, the sheriff, and said, that's all I have. And then he said, okay, where is it? She told him. And I was really impressed with the father, because as mad as he was, and he had every right to be mad, he composed himself and he said, look, I'm calling your parents. They're coming to get you, Kendra. You're not staying here tonight for my sake and your sake, because I don't know what we're capable of right now, but for our daughter, so she doesn't get taken away by protective custody, we need to separate, and we need to figure it out at a later time. But right now, you need to go. And this is a real pivotal part in the story. It was shock to the whole community, and it was really shocking to Lauren and to her dad. You could actually see in this documentary that Lauren was in complete and utter shock.
I think the shock feeling turned into sad, which turned into mad, which turned into crazy. I don't even know how to describe the feeling. Why would mom do this? But like, did she really actually do this? Like, I can't believe it, honestly. I was just really confused.
And Sean was just trying to process. And then in the documentary, that when they tell Jill, Owen's mom, she is just absolute denial. She's like, no way, this is my friend, she loves her daughter, she would never do this. She was spearheading this campaign of finding out who the unknown caller is. There's just absolutely no way it was her. And then Owen, I mean, you could just see his brain trying to process all of the calls, and that these disturbing, disgusting, sexually calls are from his girlfriends.
I was just speechless. Just like, I didn't know how to handle it. You know, just like my head was spinning. Like, you know, how could a mom do such a thing? It's just like crazy that someone that close could do something like that. Well, to me, but also to her own daughter.
It's insane, but it's the truth. And about, I don't know, a few months later, she was arrested, and in April, 22 months after the initial phone call, she, April 26, 2023, Kendra was charged and sentenced to 19 months. And during her trial, she was so remorseful and apologetic, but when she was interviewed after she did time, there was excuse after excuse after excuse as to why she did this, and that she was really just trying to protect her daughter. And the principal even said, this sounds like a Munchausen case, because she would say these horrible things via the unknown caller, and her daughter would be so upset. She would come home to mom, and mom was, oh honey, it's okay, you're beautiful, don't listen to that, that's, you know, that's just ridiculous, you're a gorgeous girl, and all these things. So not a lot of remorse there. Even when she was in jail, her daughter and her were texting, and she was just love bombing Lauren, telling her, oh my gosh, just gushing about, you know, how much she loves her and how perfect she is and how beautiful she is. And it was just really difficult to listen to. So I really enjoyed this documentary. I think you will too. So please comment on what you thought, and if you think the mother is actually remorseful at all, and also how you feel about this is going to affect Lauren long-term psychologically. I really think that's a tough one. I mean, who can you trust, right? You can't trust your parents. All right, love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.